In case you haven't figured it out from all the Aussies working in your pubs, England, every inner city child wants to grow up and find themselves in London. Huh? Why? Because it's pretty much exactly the same as Melbourne, but it has a bigger Ferris wheel. The British watching, this is just for your edification of what the person that is serving you pints thinks about you, and to the people that are thinking of going over to merry old England as soon as the borders open up again, I'm just here to say, think again. On entering London, there's a couple of things you'll notice straight off the bat. You can't tell the difference between modern day London and 1800s Oliver Twist London, except for the fact that there's going to be a bunch of people standing around saying, "Would you like to buy a flower for Daffodil Day?" That's it. Shoe-shine boys have been replaced with corporate-friendly sign-up men. The next thing you'll notice is there's so many fried chicken shops there, and they're all fucked. They make KFC look fancy. I'm calling it now. If you are south of Scotland, you are not allowed to have fried chicken. Boiled chicken exclusively. Either that, or on a fancy day like Christmas Eve, you can have a cod pie. And it has to be cod. A fish as ugly as it is bland. Truly a Christmas miracle. Let me just break down why you can't do fried chicken, alright? It's just, no offense, but the stereotype is so true. The English are terrible cooks. I'm sorry, it's just every Aussie looks at those neon flashing signs that say chicken, chicken, chicken. And we think, how? How did you f up fried chicken? You know how he's so proud of chicken masala? I'm sorry to inform you, but our butter chicken from malls is better. I apologize to keep going on about the food, but what the fuck is jellied eel? Mislav made me watch a second of his recommended feed, which of course was Vice Munchies, and in it was the cast of Snatch, saying, "This is how we jellied our eels, yeah? You just cut a bastard's head off like this, decapitates it on camera." It was a snuff film, and both of us looked at each other and thought, ugh. I do really want to try it. And purely just because there was two old biddies there that sounded exactly like Norman's mum from Fireman Sam saying, "We've been coming here since 1930. Actually, what was it, Martha? 1937. In fact, they should replace every MILF on the shopping channel with old British biddies. "Well, I've been sleeping on this fabric since... Martha, when did you start sleeping on this fabric?" I think it was before the war." "No, it can't be before the war because it's using space age technology." "Oh, is it? Well, we've both been sleeping on it for a very long time, and it feels like we're sleeping on a bed of jellied eel." Having said all that, England, what you lack in culinary skills, which I know, most original observation ever, but it's true. But you don't get enough kudos for having hilarious, out-of-date jobs. Beefeaters! That more than makes up for your scary fried chicken shops. The fact that that is still an occupation to this day. "If you will turn your head to the left, you will observe His Highness's primary gallows. Lot of heads rolled here, they did." Do they roll anymore? "They will if you don't shut your gob." No, but seriously, capital punishment was outlawed in the 60s. I fully understand and endorse why you keep Beefeaters. It reminds you of your peak, which was the Middle Ages. And it was the peak of society in general. That is truly God's country, figuratively and literally. Fat dudes walking around with pikes. Move along! I don't want to see an England where they can't walk up to tourists and say, "What business do you have here? Eh? You want to be an Aussie actor on the East End? Be gone with you. We have enough neighbours on the magic talking box as it is. 3 times a day and no less." In fact, that's probably the reason they handled COVID so badly. I bet you they were on the government health advisory board. "How many chickens have you sacrificed to God?" 10, sir. Eh? 10? No wonder he's angry with you. I could eat 10 in one sitting, I could. Try sacrificing 3 geese. Actually, I know I'm saying a lot of positive things about the British now, but there is a lot of positive things to say about them. They're just charming. Every woman you meet there is the "freshen your drink, governor," comely lass from The Simpsons, and every guy should be in a rom-com. How are they all not actors? That's the question. It's like Hugh Grant is a poor version of them. How much better is this as national catchphrases than mate and g'day? "Is you bothered?" and "You what?" Even though everything's an aggressive inquiry, it still sounds less threatening than mate. I just want to move to a small village that looks exactly like those model toy train villages at Hobbyco, purely because they finish every sentence with yeah. Even if the only jobs available there are, what, I assume coal miners? Is that the only job everyone in England has? Oh no, wait, sorry, Beefeater. There's always the chance of that, but you have to get as obese as a sumo wrestler. Some other elements of how charming they are: everyone that works at a Starbucks in Australia, basically that chick boom chick. Everyone that works at a Starbucks in England, I'm upgrading it from them being better versions of Hugh Grant. In fact, it's just all Morpheus. Are they Hugh Grant? I still can't tell. Why are you working at a coffee shop? Shouldn't you be a PhD lecturer at Cambridge? Well, that's exactly the job that I was going for. I just I didn't have the aristocratic connections. It really is opposite land Australia. In all the areas that we're fucked, they're civilized. And vice versa. I'll just quote The Simpsons as I do in every single video I've ever done, but we're very lucky to have Keating. If we had a Tory government in the 80s, you could say goodbye to social services and superannuation and hello to fucked council flats and no wharfy jobs. I swear that's the reason everyone there is still just a character from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. It's because Margaret Thatcher rocked up and said, "Being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you're a lady, you aren't. No, if some money for a loaf of bread, madam. Me legs don't work." "Well, are you a lady?" "No." "Well then no. Having no legs is like being a lady. If you're..." And then there's the Scottish. Pretty much exactly the same as every Australian, except for with 200% more of a chance of getting your head bashed in for not supporting a certain team. All this Scottish side of my family, obsessed with sponges. I once threw one out because it was dirty. It was filled with crumbs. When you wiped the kitchen table, there was a trail of breadcrumbs, the Hansel and Gretel of sponges. I threw it in the bin, and by 6 cents, my Scottish dad kicked the door down. Did I hear a sponge getting thrown out, boy? Yes, it's 4 cents! It's my shout, I'll get you a new sponge! It was my shout in year 8! That's the only reason you wanted to separate from England, isn't it? You're sick of the pound, you want to use sponges to trade everything. That, and you just want the right to not get arrested for being really defensive about your team. Why are you people so tough about inconsequential things? I'd rather die than admit that a team that is empirically better than mine is better. What, you'd rather die, would you? Aye. Does irony exist in Scotland? You guys take the word obstinate to a new level. If you ever do secede from England, your new flag should just be a sponge on one side and the middle finger on the other. Maybe just the words at the bottom, f***ing Thatcher. But just as a final piece of advice to all the Aussies that go there, you're not finding yourself. You just come back and you're even more of a wanker than you were before. And that's got nothing to do with England. It's just something about the fact that Australians that go there come back and they go, I lived in an even shitter apartment than the ones in Newtown. Are you jealous? No, I'm not. What about the fact that there's more mice over there than cockroaches? Well, putting them in a giant maze and making them race for cheese would be fun. Well, yeah, it's more whimsical, whatever. Well, I think I've alienated a small portion of my audience for the benefit of the rest of the audience enough for one day. But if you like me doing that, please subscribe, like the video to show that you do, as that pretty much is all of my content these days, just picking out small subcategories of people and picking on them to make them comment, we're not all like that, and can't send the message. Me fingers have too much jellied eel on them. It keeps slipping, it does. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and just as a little teaser as well, a poll if you will. Like this video if you think that England should replace their anthem God Save the Queen with the Fireman Sam song. Banger. Sleeper banger. You leave God Save the Queen to us. We voted to stay in, we'll do that. You guys have earned the right. That song is as innocent as it is cool. Check it. After filming that, Friendly Geordies discovered that the Fireman Sam song is clearly in copyright, and he decided that advertising revenue is more important than art. Tune in next time. When he hears the fire bell chime, Fireman Sam is there on time. Diddle-dee-dee-dee-dee, putting on his coat and hat. in less than 7 seconds flat. That's fucking fast. He's always on the scene. Fireman Sam, and his engine's bright and clean. Fireman Sam, you cannot ignore. Diddle-dee-dee-dee-dee. Sam is the hero next door. He's always on the scene. Fireman Sam, and his engine's also... no, that's enough.